Hello and welcome. I'm Daniel Nobre. May 1st, 1941, exactly 80 years ago, a motion picture will be shown for the very first time in New York City. Audiences had no idea what to expect. A young director, 25-year-old Orson Welles, directed Citizen Kane. I'm your host, Daniel Nobre. Welcome to CINEMIN. For the fans of the Criterion Collection, international films, independent films, and American classics. Please subscribe and enjoy this channel. Stunningly directed, brilliantly written, and very well acted. This film holds elements that make an undisputable classic.
It isn't enough to tell us what a man did. You've got to tell us who he was. Rosebud.
I hadn't been very rich. I might have been a really great man.
Not only that, if you haven't seen the film and you watch for the first time, you'll be astonished. Every time you go back to the film, you certainly will learn more and more about the filmmaking process itself, and you'll be delighted to learn things that you haven't noticed at the very first time. This movie is very well known because there is some links with the life and times of tycoon millionaire William Randolph Hearst. Citizen Kane tells a story of an obsessed reporter trying to find the truth about the death of Charles Foster Kane, a larger-than-life tycoon, a big man that used to run business in the newspaper industry and once even tried to become a New York governor. One of the richest men in the world and the most influential man during his time, Kane now is dead. But before die, he pronounced the word Rosebud. So Thompson, the reporter, thinks that there is something between the word and the entire life of Kane that may have some sort of link. So he starts an investigation about the life of late Charles Foster Kane. And here's Kane working as chief editor of his own newspaper, the New York Inquirer. In a mixture of journalism and even documentary style, the film digs into the personal life of Charles Foster Kane as Thompson starts to interview those that were closest to him, including Leland Joseph Cotton, former drama critic of the Inquirer and at one time Kane's best friend. Bernstein Everett Sloan, chairman of the board of the Inquirer and Kane's manager since the 1890s. And Susan Alexander, Dorothy Comingore, Kane's second wife and second-rate entertainer. So we are, after the interviews, more and more introduced about the life of Kane. Now, notice that every time they tell a story about Kane, there is a negative quotation. However, the images that we see about Kane are more empathetic towards him. So in other words, the director is manipulating us to believe that what they are saying is not the full spectrum and the full truth about his character, Citizen Kane. Cinematographer Greg Toland that created amazing different camera positions especially designed for this film, shooting from the bottom to the top to show when a character is ascending in power, and from the top to the bottom when the character is descending or depressed. Because director Welles preferred showing his characters in relation to their settings, Greg Toland, who deserved an Academy Award, rarely used close-ups, and employed deep focus photography and expressionistic lighting. Bernard Herrmann's score also serves as a storytelling device. The music soars as Kane triumphs and is wobbly when Kane experiences a free fall. The makeup is quite effective as the story progresses and the characters start aging accordingly. We have the screenplay by Herman Mankiewicz together with Orson Welles. Film critic Pauline Kael used to say that probably 70% of the screenplay really came from Mankiewicz alone, because he was one insider at Saint-Simeon's castle. He was always invited by actress Marion Davis, and they used to drink together a lot. And don't forget to check out the movie Mank, which is about Herman Mankiewicz, starring Gary Oldman, directed by David Fincher from 2020, is about the screenplay for Citizen Kane. What is amazing to notice about and how much inspired the movie will be on Orson Welles' life itself. He really was that kind of strange, magnetic, big persona, very difficult actor, very difficult director, and that kind of vision, but also charismatic. He was all that in one person. He got several women in his life. How he ended up basically lonely almost, just like Kane. So it's those things that make the magic of the movie even more stronger these days than it was probably in 1941, and most people did not understand what the movie was about. And not only that, it was a strong campaign by William Randolph Hearst to put the film down. And 10 years later, in 1951, William Randolph Hearst died at the age of 88. As for director Orson Welles, he continued in the business for a long time and a long career full of ups and downs. He lost the rights to have final cut over some of his films, but at the end, he died on October 10th, 1985 at the age of 70. As I mentioned before, that Orson got full control and final cut on this film. After the film, he wouldn't get that anymore. So that was pretty much, he thinks that it was basically it for his career, and I disagree completely. I think his body work, if you look throughout all his movies after, is strong enough to sustain a very strong presence to this day. And I think that's why he was so well respected from day one with his Citizen Kane and his larger-than-life persona that we all criticize and praise at the same time. So here comes the recommendations at the end of this presentation. Check it out, Citizen Kane from RKO. This is, of course, presented by Warner Brothers that has the rights over the film. Check it out, the Blu-ray edition. That is just brilliant, and the commentary by Roger Ebert. Now, Criterion has the magnificent Amber Sons that I do recommend. It's the second film right after Citizen Kane that Orson directed partially, but the studio changed the end of the film. Orson Welles' Othello, based of course in the play by William Shakespeare. Also, I recommend a documentary by Orson that I don't have from the Criterion collection, F for Fake. And finally, the last one is The Third Man, directed by Carol Reed, but starring Joseph Cotten and Orson Welles. Is essential Orson Welles as well. We can put in the role in his acting career. This is a great film. I hope you guys like what you see. Don't forget to subscribe to CINEMIN. To all my fans, I thank you so much. You guys are incredible. Really, no words of appreciation are enough to describe how much I like you guys. Don't forget to please leave your thumbs up if you like the presentation, and don't forget to put your comments, okay? I would like to hear from all of you guys if I can. I'm Daniel Nobre. I see you guys in our next CINEMIN presentation. Goodbye.